Hey, my name is Sal, and pretty much what I do is I review 1/50th scale construction models that that I buy. I don't review most of them that they make, but the ones that I buy. Uh, for any of you that are just stumbling across this video, never heard of me before, but for those that do, this is the Grove RT540E, produced by TWH. This is a 1/50th scale model. This one retails for $169. From most retailers, you can probably find this screen cheaper. There's also many other colors. Like they make the blue and the white, which is the Big E version. They make red and white. I know they make the white, and pretty much the colors that I'm saying would replace the yellow. But there's also many other color variations. Those go for, I believe, $189, so they are a little bit more money. But if you're willing to pay, you can get a real nice looking color, especially the blue. Now, I was going to buy the blue, which basically everything that is yellow here would be blue, and it says Big E over here. But I went with this, because I get tired of some libraries. But to show pretty much the standard functions of the crane, the hook moves up and down, raises, boom, raises, turns a full 360, both of the back tires turn. It does have a little suspension, and all four outriggers will come out, and they also screw down. Cab door opens like so, slides. The cover comes off, and those are pretty much the main functions. Lastly, the jib comes out. We'll get to the jib later on. But now we're really going to get in depth, and you'll see a lot of close-up view, and I'll really explain the model. Okay, here's the front base of the main chassis, if you want to call it. This right here is basically when you throw down your boom and you transport it, or even if you do park it, the hook just holds on like that. That is metal, and it does move. I'll just bring this up. Alright, the front of it that you see here has your steps right here, and then these would simulate the brake lights and just the headlights. Warning label there, and the steps, I don't know if you could see they kind of have ridges in them. Those are just basically so you don't slip. The tires, this is a two-axle crane. It's a rough terrain crane, so it could pretty much work on a construction site and drive on a construction site. They turn left to right, and the nice thing about them is they don't really have a shine to them. They're kind of like a flat look, so they do look real. And if you were to say add dust to them, they would look awesome. This is the gas tank of the real crane, and these are your access ladders to get up. One thing that I noticed when I flipped the crane upside down was this piece right here. It moves. That might be the battery, I'm not really sure, but that folds out like that to reveal what's in there, which it's just a little black piece like you can see there. Here's the back axle that turns as well. Both axles turn them in, and you get a better radius. All four tires do turn. Now for the exhaust. Now here you see the exhaust. I do have a walk around video of this crane, but it's one of my earlier walk arounds, so it's not really as good as, if I should say, one of my newer ones. But One of the main reasons why I bought this model is because, number one, it really appeals to me, and I did see the real crane. This is pretty much, I would say, the closest you're going to get to a real machine. The cover over the exhaust is etched out, so you can see the exhaust, and it's metal too. Here's the exhaust, and in here would be the engine, pretty much just to drive everything below the cab. The generator's in there, and right there is your radiator, and that is also etched out as well. So as you could tell, there's really a decent amount of money that was put in to make this model. They didn't really cheap out on anything. And then your top deck right there. See the warning labels. And then, see, you could also have the wire to hold the hook on there as well, but you don't really see that too much, especially with the engine right there. And now here's the right side. Not really different from the left, except over here. One nice thing about it is that sticker right there is for the hand signals. I don't know what that one's for. And those are just basically warning labels. That right there is a mirror. And if you look right here, you can kind of see the top of the deck looks like it's not really smooth. That is to simulate the anti-slip texture. I guess on the real crane they kind of add a tiny rock or sand into the paint. And they did it on this model as well, which really made this model just hit. It just hit right out of it. Okay, now for the Outriggers. All 4 Outriggers come out. I'm only going to show you one because one does the same thing as everything else. They slide out. And before I show you the rest, when you do slide them back in, listen closely. If you hear that click right there, they click in so that they won't slide back out. Now, these Outriggers are what you call screw down. Basically, they do exactly that. They screw down. And I don't really want to waste too much time here. But right here, some Outriggers you see on models, they're just a cylinder, so when you bring them down and you put a load under it, they will come back down. But right here, it doesn't come down since it's screwed down, which is great because it will hold under a load. And on the Outrigger, you see all the decals and basically all the warning labels. And let's bring it back in there. I'll pull this one out just so you could see how much it does come out. Right like that. And then, now when you do put them down, they do push up a little. That's just because of the weight. And now we'll get to the back, the counterweight, and then we'll make our way up to the boom. Counterweight cab, and now we'll make ourselves up to the boom. The cab is very nice. What I like about what they did with the cab, they made it really nice inside of it. Instead of just putting a seat, 2 controls, and a steering wheel, they also added a fire extinguisher in the back. Now, yeah, it's not much, but it gives it a nice touch. Now, the door slides open, and then it reveals the inside. See right here is a handrail, a mirror, there is a windshield wiper right there, that's a light, and then the top of the cab has a windshield wiper, because if you're lifting something high, you need top view. But here you can see the seat, the steering wheel right there, and the red piece you see right there is the fire extinguisher. But here's just, a nicer view of the cab. Now the back over here. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what that is. It might be a radiator for the engine for the drums, but I'm honestly not sure. these are just the lines that run into the cab. And now the counterweight. The counterweight is detachable. Some people say it's not, but there's a screw underneath it. It's in the center. If you take it off with a small Phillips screwdriver, it comes right off, which is, it's really nice about it. I like that about that. So they do give you the option to take it off. It's not really something that they suggest doing, but it is possible to take off. And now here's the back. This is just to let out all the heat for the engine. These two holes, and there's also the lifting eyes right here and right there. That's to lift the counterweight on. Right side of the counterweight. Now the drums. Now here are the drums. First drum right there is for the main block, and then this is for the jib. Now one thing that I didn't like that they did, and a lot of people said it, was number one, there's not enough line in the drum for when you fully extend the boom. The hook doesn't even come halfway down. So that's one negative thing. And another negative thing is they gave you the same hook block that they use off the main boom for the jib. Realistically, it would be like a headache ball or a ball hook, but they went with that, and really the only way to tie it off is the little red piece off it, which I'll get to later. But these are the engines for the drums, and then these are the drums. Normally on a crane model there would be keys, but on this one what you do is just rub your thumb against that, and it'll move it up and down. And run your thumb finger straight, run it down, run it like this back towards you, it will bring the hook up. Now you want to make sure is that the line doesn't get caught in between the drum and the die cast right there, because if it does, either if you can't get it out, then you gotta cut it, and then it's a whole big problem, because then it takes away even more string. But you don't want that to happen. Now